Chapter 8. Seed Structure and Dispersal. We will learn seed structure, germination of seed, dispersal of seeds, plants from far, discovery of tea. Most of the plants originate from seeds. The young plants that develop from seeds are called seedlings. Seeds help to reproduce the new plants, but all seeds do not grow into new plants. Some seeds are not fully grown when they are detached from parent plant, and some seeds are destroyed by heavy rainfall, fast blowing winds, or crushed under the feet of animals, etc. Some seeds do not get favorable conditions like enough water, proper sunlight, right soil, and air. Seeds that get favorable conditions for their growth grow into new plants. Seed structure. The seed contains a young plant or an embryo. The outer covering of a seed is called seed coat. The seed coat protects the embryo. The seed coat may be made of inner tegmen and outer testa. On the seed coat, there is a scar called a hilum that indicates the place of the attachment of a seed to its seed vessel. At one end of hilum is the micropyle, through which seed absorbs water during the process of germination. The embryo consists of one or two tiny seed leaves called cotyledons, a tiny root called radicle, and a tiny stem called the plumule. The seed starts to absorb water, and the embryo starts to use the stored food, which results in its growth. As it swells, its outer coat is broken. The radicle grows into a root and begins to absorb water and minerals. The plumule grows into a shoot and produces leaves. Knowledge window. Plants with one cotyledon are called monocots like corn. Plants with two cotyledons are called dicots like beans. Germination of seed. Seed remain inactive until the conditions are favorable for germination. All seeds need water, oxygen, and proper temperature to germinate. Some seeds also require the right amount of sunlight. When a seed gets favorable conditions, the embryo starts to enlarge. Then the seed coat breaks and a root or radicle come out first, followed by the shoot or plumule that consists the leaves and stem. Once the leaves have formed, they start making their own food through photosynthesis. Dispersal of seeds. The spreading or scattering of seeds to faraway places by various agents is called dispersal. It is the movement or transport of seeds from the parent plant. Plants have limited mobility and consequently rely upon a variety of dispersal agents. The main agents of seed dispersal are wind, animal, water, explosion. Dispersal by wind. Seeds which are usually small in size and are very light, or they have wings or hair-like structures, are easily dispersed by winds. Winged seeds of dreamsticks, hairy fruits of sunflower, etc. are dispersed by wind. Dispersal by animals. There are many ways by which birds and animals can disperse seeds. Birds and animals eat the fruit and excrete the seeds far away from the parent plant. Some seeds have barbs or spines that get attached to the animal's body and carried away to new location. Some seeds have hook on them, which cling to fur or clothes and are carried away. Knowledge window. Squirrels bury seeds and nuts for eating them during winter when food is hard to find. Sometimes they forget where they have buried these seeds. These seeds often germinate and grow into new plants. Dispersal by water. Some plants that live near the water have seeds that can float and carried away by water. One such example is coconut. It can float and dispersed by water. Seeds of water lilies are small and light and so are dispersed by water. Seeds of lotus are carried on long spongy stalk of the flower. The spongy nature of the stalk acts like a boat and carries the seeds far away. Knowledge window. Coconuts can travel for thousands of kilometers across seas and oceans. Dispersal by explosion. Sometimes the fruits of some plants burst open when they are ripe. The seeds are dispersed by the bursting of fruit with sudden explosion. These seeds scattered far away from the parent plant in all directions. Poppy, pea, bean, and balsam are dispersed by explosion. Knowledge window. Sitting near gorse bushes on a hot day in summer in Britain can be like sitting near a firing range, as the exploded pods sound almost like gunshots. The small seeds are very effectively thrown away from the immediate area. Plants from far. Some plants grow at most places. Some plants grow only at certain altitude and in certain climate. Apples grow on hills and not in the plains. Similarly, mangoes need hot and humid climate to grow, and they do not grow in the cold region. You have read that people too helped in seed dispersal. So some plants originally grew at one place and they are now grown at other places too. For example, watermelon was grown in the Arabian desert. Now it is widely grown in the river basins of North India also. Discovery of tea. Tea is the most consumed beverage in the world. Tea was introduced in India much long after it was discovered. It is believed that in 2737 BC, Second Emperor of China, Shen Nung discovered it when dried tea leaves accidentally blew into his cup of hot water. He was much enchanted by the wonderful aroma of it. Gradually, it came to be seasoned and grown widely in the farms. Assam is the birthplace of tea in India. India is one of the world's largest producer of tea, with close competition from neighboring China. Tea is prepared from the leaves of tea plant. The leaves are picked and then seasoned before packing them and selling them in the market. Quick review. The young plants that develop from seeds are called seedlings, and the outer covering of a seed is called seed coat. The embryo consists of one or two tiny seed leaves called cotyledons, a tiny root called radicle, and a tiny stem called the plumule. All seeds need water, oxygen, and proper temperature to germinate. The spreading or scattering of seeds to faraway places by various agents is called dispersal. Winged seeds of dream sticks, hairy fruits of sunflower, etc. are dispersed by wind. Some plants that live near the water have seeds that can float and are carried away by water. The seeds of some plants like poppy, pea, bean, and balsam are dispersed by the bursting of fruits with sudden explosion.